Yay. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I was running just a little bit behind. Things just kept popping up on the screen.
Oh no, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, let me cut this down in the background. Thank you so much for scheduling this with me. So like out of the blue right away. I didn't expect that. So that was
Oh, do you know what? I'm one of those people that like when I feel the pull, it's like, right, go. And I was like, oh, should I do it next week? And I was like, no, fuck it. We'll just do it now.
I love it. Thank you so much. Well, I was looking at your stuff and I feel like we have a lot we can talk about. I'm just gonna go right into it because like I
Go
can't even
for it.
believe it. I was just doing my investigation, which I like to do a little investigation before I have my conversations. And I saw you had about Chiron. I was just
Mhm.
looking at that. I thought, what? The Chiron returns. And that's amazing. Is that a book or is that a course? What is that?
So Chiron Returns is like a self-study course that I've just launched. And the reason I launched it is obviously my jam is human design, but the way I do human design is I do it very uniquely in that I look at the whole system. So I look at astrology and then I kind of zoom in on the human design on the human design bit and the stuff that channels through. So most people will talk about Chiron from an astrology point of view, but what I like to do is like really like hone in and be like, you know, get into the detail of it in terms of how the energy shows up for people. So like literally I just launched that on Monday, but yesterday I recorded the last little bit for that container. So that's all out in the world now and doing its thing. But one of the things that came through yesterday when I was recording is actually looking, and I did a podcast. I do a podcast myself called Empower Her Identity. Like, and for me, like astrology, like numerology. And when you said that, I was like, I'm there. Like that's my person.
Yes.
With all of these different systems that allow us to really understand who we are and express. Like for me, it's about expression and expressing that fullest version of ourselves out into the world, right? So
Mhm.
when I was recording this, the last bit of the Chiron Returns self-study course, it was really, really pulling me into this energy at the moment of Chiron in Aries.
Mm.
And it was showing me this energy of Chiron really being about us healing the masculine. Now, obviously, we've been on a course together this week that is all around business. And what we're finding is there are a lot of women and a lot of entrepreneurs, like predominantly I work with women in business. You know, that's who I help. And like there are a lot of women at the moment, and this was absolutely my story, who are burnt out because they've spent so much time in their masculine because we have not been safe to be witnessed in our feminine. So my two really, really core things that I focus on is Chiron and Lilith.
Ah,
The magic that both of those placements and understanding yourself through those placements brings is this bridge and this harmony, because to me the dark feminine is the bridge between the masculine and the feminine to bring us into greater alignment and harmony. And what we can see at the moment in the sky is we've got Black Moon Lilith transiting through Virgo for probably the next 9 months,
mm.
and she's currently at the moment in the gate of the father. So when we look through human design, it's about the masculine, it's about the father, it's about tapping out of this good girl energy and this, you know, if you just be a good girl, you can have the ice cream. And if you just sacrifice your ass and do good and just be good and keep giving and keep giving and keep giving and keep giving and keep giving,
Mm.
you'll have the prize.
I
And it's
love
like,
that
no,
too.
that's bullshit. And then we've got Chiron over the other end that's like, girl, we're fucking tired, like let us rest, right? And you can see it and you can feel this energy. And like when I look out into the collective and the people within my communities, it's like women just don't feel safe to rest. And I feel like we've got this balancing of these polarities at the moment. But the big thing with this dark feminine is these boundaries and this rebellion that says, you know what, no, I'm not going to give to the point of exhaustion. Like, you know, I'm going to focus on me. You know, I'm going to do me. I'm going to say no, because actually, like, I don't want to fucking do that. You
Oh my
know,
gosh, you are right
not
on it.
want to
It's
do
exactly
that.
the way I feel. Like that's it. Like, I mean, I don't know who watches my channel on a regular basis, but they'll see that I have not been posting their little horoscopes. Like I usually give and give and give and give. You can see I go back years of doing monthlies and weeklies and on the new moons and the full moons. But you know what? I have not been doing that on a regular basis because I've had to take care of myself and heal. And I just happen to have a progress Aries rising. So
You know what, I've just gone
happened in my first house.
In the progressive chart.
Mhm.
I've just gone into Aries. So
Oh, yeah.
the last 2 years for me in Pisces has been an absolute fucker. Like, I'll be completely honest, like, and I call them false light codes. And
Mhm.
I find very much like I am a spiritual, I declare myself a very spiritual being, right? But I do not buy into some of this dogma. And like my saying, if you said to somebody like, what's one thing that Lynsey always says, I was like, we are here in service, not sacrifice. You
Mm.
know, we do not give and give and give and give and give. You know, like I said, you come into this Lilith thing, like we do not have to give to receive. This is a fucked up belief. You know, the
I
universe,
had to learn that lesson
yeah, the
personally.
universe, God creator, he doesn't just love you when you're giving,
Yeah.
he loves you when you're being. And this is, you know, shadow integration and stuff like that. Like, even the bits, the darkest bits of you that you may not love, nobody's judging that other than you. The
Yeah.
darkness that actually exists
Yeah.
doesn't exist outside. Nobody's judging us. It's what we're judging ourselves based on these codes and things. So I think at the moment, like, the planets are just
Mm.
so, like, I just love astrology, and I'll share this with you as well. So um yesterday I celebrated my 15th wedding anniversary, right? So
Congratulations.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
So for 15 years of our marriage, my husband's a Capricorn, by the way, so
I'm
he's
a Capricorn.
amazing. 15 years of our marriage we've done with Pluto in Capricorn in
Oh,
his sign. So the next 15 are in matter. They're in matter, right? And it's like, oh, like, how is this going to come? Because he's very spiritual, but he's very, like, grounded. He's very 3D, he's very 3D as well. And I'm like, oh, there's going to be some good transformation. And I keep saying to him, I was like, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it.
I mean, doesn't that feel like money coming toward him? I don't know. I just got that vibe. Second house.
Yeah,
Power
yes,
there.
like,
Owning
massively,
power. Yeah.
massively. But again, like, he's on his own journey. And I realized yesterday as well, when I was looking at our chart, so our south nodes, there's only like, what's that, maybe 6 weeks between us, like, age wise. So he'll be 40, so we're both going into a 1 year as well next year, but, well, yeah, this next year. So he'll be 40 on Boxing Day, which, by the way, is the day that Chiron goes direct.
I was gonna say, you know what I said? I
Yeah.
just said this the other day. There's gonna be so many fights on Boxing Day.
Yeah, Chiron.
Fights. Like, oh my God. Hold
Yeah. Chiron direct in Aries, like, all of this family shit and stuff that gets unsaid is coming out at the Boxing Day dinner.
You clean that shit up.
Isn't it? Like, it just is.
I see it. It's
Yeah.
so funny. I just had this conversation. It's hilarious. It's so visible, and people who are not aware of astrology, they're going to mess it up because there's going to probably be family over. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be dirty. You got to clean stuff up, and someone's going to say something, and someone's going to snap, and that's it.
Yeah.
All the pain and the family.
And that's the thing. It's not going to be about that thing, is it? It's going to be all of this built up anger and all of the things where
Aries, like,
people bypass their truth, and they don't talk to people and they don't communicate to people, and it builds up and it builds up and then it goes off like a fucking pressure pop. Like that's going to be Boxing Day, right?
Yeah, that's Boxing Day.
That's going to be Boxing Day. But it's just interesting. And then when I looked yesterday, I was like, oh my God, we got married on the day that the sun was conjunct both of our south nodes.
Oh, wow.
What?
You guys must have
What?
been together in a prior life. That's
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
past life all the way.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Like you found
fourth
each other.
house Sagittarius. But do you
Oh,
know where we found each other? Like even the fact that we're having this conversation,
yeah.
like we found each other on the internet. We met on the internet,
Oh, wow.
and we met on the internet, and it was on a place called Plenty of Fish. I don't know if you
I've
have that
heard
in
of
America.
that. I've heard.
So I met him on Plenty of Fish, right? And we've been together 18 years.
Wow.
18 years. We've got 2 children. Our eldest is 15, and yeah, like the internet, you know, without the internet and without all of this Aquarius, you know, technology, and like we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like I wouldn't have found him in that sea of all those fishes, right?
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to be grateful for. But yeah, when I was looking at that yesterday, I was like, wow, like that's incredible to think how the intuition and the timing and everything works. Because originally, and you'll love this bit, so he was in the military. He was a Royal Marine Commando.
Okay.
And when he originally proposed to me, we set the date for our wedding was going to be in the August, right? And then we found out he was going away on an operation called Operation Taurus.
Oh, wow. That's when he's a Capricorn.
Yeah.
But
that's all right. No, that's all right. That's okay. So yeah, so he was going away on something called Operation Taurus. Now, my Chiron is in Taurus. Ryan's Chiron is in Taurus. My moon, my MC is in Taurus. I've got Uranus.
My
Saturn.
moon is in Taurus. You're freaking me out. How did we meet each other? That's amazing.
I love it because we were meant to meet. So yeah, so he was going away on this Op Taurus. And he said, oh, like these are the dates that we come home. And I was like, that's fucking 3 days before our wedding. Like, no, absolutely not. I was like, I grew up, my dad was in the military, and I was like, I know how this ends. I was like, they are not ruining my wedding day. So I was like, right, we'll just bring it forward. We'll do it before you go. So I literally, in 3 weeks from that point, from 3 weeks from having that conversation, like we'd got married, we'd done all of the things, we had like 150 people at our wedding, and so it's like even the date, it was like it was almost like that with destiny as well, like, right? So I just love it. Like you cannot, to me, you cannot debate like the truth of this stuff. Like you just can't make this shit up.
I believe our destiny, I think our agency comes in our choices to take that destiny or not, because we all have that choice. We don't have to accept it, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that the opportunity arises. We just sometimes we miss it. But you being the in tune person that you are, you found that person who obviously is your person. You guys, wow, how self-know you obviously have been married before. So your spirit.
What me and him.
Yeah, your self nodes are together. That's weird. Both past lives together like that. Weird.
Yeah. And do you know what as well? Like it's really funny because like he is a mirror. Like he is a mirror for me. Like he is just a mirror for me. Like, you know, something could happen in his life, like in his work or somewhere. Yeah. And I'll be like, like intuitively tell him this is what is going on. And then I'll be like, maybe like a week later, something will happen and I'll be like, oh, that feels a bit weird. And I'll be taken back to the conversation I had with him about what was going on in his life. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the fucking same thing. And I'll be like, you never guess what.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, we just guess now, don't we? Right. But it's like it's always, and the same for him as well. He can
It's
say
very
something
easy, isn't it? It's very
and it's like it just comes back
yeah.
up. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's been challenging.
Yeah.
Like people marriage, I always say marriage is like a walk in the park,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, right? Because there's shit flying everywhere and there's fucking chaos, and you know the little dinosaurs are running around, and it's just like, for fuck's sakes. Right? But
Very.
like within the chaos, like there's that grounding, that nurturing energy of like high five, because it doesn't matter what the universe throws at us, as long as we're together, like we are like untouchable. Do you know what I mean?
You guys
And
are a team.
yeah, absolutely.
I
And I
don't know
think,
where Gemini comes in, because you said something about Sagittarius in the 4th house that time.
yeah, I'm a North Node, 10th house. So my so Gemini 10th house is
Gemini.
my North Node. Ryan's is in Gemini, but his Gemini is 11th house.
Oh, wow. I just
Yeah.
get this vibe that you guys are meant to be together. You've been together probably on multiple lifetimes. I mean,
Yeah.
4 years, and to be born 6 months apart and to find each other. It's weird. It's amazing.
6 weeks. 6
Oh,
weeks
6
apart.
weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Wow, that's even freakier.
like
That's why,
6.
that's why I asked, where's the Gemini? Like your little twin.
Yeah. Yeah,
You were
6 weeks
either
apart.
like
But do you know what?
married.
Geminis, both of our mums are Geminis.
Oh, that's so freaky weird.
Our mums' birthdays, there
Oh,
are 6 days apart.
oh my gosh. You guys were so meant to meet each other. It's so fun.
Absolutely.
There's a movie,
Absolutely.
I cannot remember the name of this movie. My daughter brought it up the other day because she remembered my obsession with this movie in the 90s. In the 90s, I swear, or early 2000. No, it was 90s. But it was about this couple, and they were in love, and they were in heaven. And in heaven, they had a house, and it was beautiful, and their love was so beautiful. And they were separated, and they were cast down to earth, and they just they couldn't live without finding each other. And in fact, I swear that there had been like possible deaths in had to reincarnate several times. And there was this moment, and she was about to cross the street, and the car was about to hit her, and he came out of nowhere, and she looked up, and it was him. And I cried, and
that sounds like my kind of film, because I am such a sucker for like romance, happy ending, like people finding love. Like he sits there and he just looks at me and he's like, and I'm like, I can see you sitting there waiting for me to cry. Like, just leave me be.
After 15 years, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I'm just such a sucker. I'm just such a sucker for it. But yeah, it's just mind blowing, isn't it? And I think it just goes to show that when we go with the flow and we be open to the possibilities and the guidance that comes through the universe, like, we're always being guided. And I think sometimes we can get so stuck in, what do I need to do? What should I be doing? What could I be doing? And it's like wrong questions. Like, these are the wrong questions. Like, what feels good to me to do today? Oh, where would I like to go? Like, because even, I was saying to a lady the other day, she's a really successful coach. And I know the thing that she wants most in the world is she wants somebody to share her life with. And she said, oh, this was like maybe a couple of weeks ago or whatever. And she said to me, like, Christmas is really hard for me, like, because I don't have that. And I was like, girl, like, Christmas is fucking 6 weeks ago. I was like, you could walk to the train station and literally bump into the man of your dreams. Like, your job is just to stay aligned and to follow the nudges and go to the places and take those next little micro steps, because then when you look back, you go, wow, like, all of that brought me here. And I think sometimes we try to control that flow of life, and that's what cuts us off, like, from ourselves, from the universe.
I admit it. That's why I found Michelle, because I need I just, because I had a bad marriage. Okay. Everyone has their own things, but I feel like I'm still recovering, and it's 5 years. So it's like, what am I doing? I'm aging, but trust.
You're aging well, by the way.
Boy, thank
You're aging
you.
very well.
I'll be 61, by the way, which is crazy.
How old?
61.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's that Aquarius energy.
Yeah, it is.
We literally age in reverse.
Yeah.
Like, look hot.
I got Aquarius intercepted in my first house completely. And I'm actually a double Capricorn, but I got all Aquarius there. And my chart ruler Saturn's in Aquarius and my Mercury's in Aquarius. And they're all in the first house. And I got a little bit of Pisces on my first house, and the biggest first house. And yes, I used to be 500 pounds, because who can have that big of a first house and not? It took me years to be able to control the energy of that many planets.
Yeah, but I think the other thing as well with Aquarius, when I look at it through human design, all of the Aquarius placements in human design are in the solar plexus. It's like big fucking emotional energy. And what do we do when we're overwhelmed with emotions? Well, I'll tell you what I did. I fucking ate them.
Yes. I'm a 6-2 generator, by the way.
Oh, amazing. So I'm a 2-4 generator. So yeah. It's that second line. It's that second line, isn't it? And there's so much power in that second line, but we just don't see ourselves. Like, we just don't see. You know, we have to constantly be shining that mirror and surrounding ourselves with people that are like, and you go, oh, like, doesn't everyone know this stuff?
Yeah.
And oh my God, that's genius. And you're like, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we're just in our own little bubble, bobbing along, doing the things we love, ease and flow, all of the things. And then when it gets too easy, we go, oh, hang on. Life told me this should be hard. I bet let's add some obstacles in just so that we feel, you know, like everybody else. But this is the revolutionary to show the way is life should be fucking easy. Life is not designed to be hard. We just make it hard, you know?
I like it so easy. I avoid all conflict. Like, I know that's horrible, but you got a Taurus moon. You know what I mean? We don't want that. Just give me some music, some food, some good vibes. I'm chilling. I don't need anything else. I don't want to be in fights. I don't want to be in anybody's face, in their business, in their houses. I don't need to be in their parties. I don't need to go into the clubs. I don't need to be in bars. I don't need any of that. Now, when I go into that, there's always conflict, because there's someone always that wants to mess with someone like me. Because I try to hide, but my son is on the first house. Can you imagine? And Venus is on the 10th house. And Mars is in the 7th house, and the moon is on a nadir. I've got a grand cross, basically, with Neptune up on the 10th house. Yeah. So I've been managing it, but it's not, I missed the grand cross a little bit, because the Mars in Leo doesn't square Neptune, but it's 2 T squares. It's ugly. So I avoid, my way of dealing with that is avoidance in real life, but the Neptune on the midheaven, all public, the first house sun. I do the podcast, I have the shows, but in real life, no, don't come near me. Unless they're bringing something good and positive. Children love me, but other than dogs and things like that, like Mary Sunshine. But if somebody's bringing negativity, I run, because I had a husband, I feel like, who was a succubus, who I even showed a picture once. I'm back to myself a little bit, but I literally looked like a little girl for a long time. It was just weird. So there was a picture of me when he first started dating me, and I was my skin was flawless. But then there was a picture of me right after. I was gone, sucked in. And I looked,
and he literally sucked the life out of you.
Life out of me, my God.
And do you know what? It's really funny, because obviously, if I look at human design, so my sun is in Aquarius, in the 6th house, and then I've got my 11th house of Leo, like my Earth is there. So it's like I'm very grounded in that big Leo, like I have a right
I love that.
energy, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I see for you. Like you've got this big aura, you've got this big personality, and the reason you feel like that when you go into these places is because, you know, you feel that all eyes on you. And it's like, and one of the things is, as women, and this masculine wound is like, it's not safe to be seen. And I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago where I was talking about trauma that I'd experienced
Yep.
through the corporate world that I worked in, where I was too loud and I was constantly shut down and I was too opinionated and I was all these things. And I've had to do a lot of work to, you know, how I show up on the internet. How I show up on the internet is how I show up in real life. Like I don't wear a mask. Like, do you know what? This is fucking me. And if you can't deal with me, then you don't get a seat at my table. You can just take yourself fucking off, right? And it's that when you were saying about the room thing and walking into a room, the quote that came to my mind is, I used to walk into a room and wonder if people liked me, and now I walk into a room and wonder if I like the people. You
Oh,
know,
I love that.
and I don't know who said that, but it's quite a, I could probably find it for you, but it's quite a prominent quote. And it's you not dimming your light to make other people feel comfortable. And if you feel comfortable expressing yourself on the internet, like you're obviously, you know, that Leo energy, you're obviously here, that Mars in Leo, you are here to express yourself in a big way. And you know, that healing and that Chiron and that Lilith energy is going to be really supporting you in terms of healing some of that stuff, because there might still be a bit of you not fully showing up as yourself, because this fear of this masculine energy coming and knocking you back down and taking your glow. So you dim yourself probably to like 70, let's call it 70.
Wait a minute, I didn't finish. My progressed sun is in Pisces in the 12th house. It's called and my progressed Chiron. I feel like now my whole job is to hide, you know, I just feel like I'm 60 and I don't need to be center stage anymore. I'm trying to pull back. I mean, my Pisces and my Chiron is there. There is that part of me that just naturally, it just happens. But I've pulled completely into wherever I've gone into. It's...
I think you're coming back, girl. I don't care if you're 60, I don't care if you're 80. You are not here to shrink back. Like I can feel your energy, and I can absolutely tell you that categorically. And at the end of the day, like age is just a number. Like I'm 40 in February, and it's like that fear of time running out, but it's like, well, time's a fucking illusion. So
are you kidding?
You know, but society is like, oh my god, like I'm 40, I'm 60, you know, let's shut up shop. And it's like, fuck no, like time is an illusion. You just keep going. Like we grow old because we stop moving and we stagnate and all of the things. Like, you know, you see people like I've got people in my network that are like and 6'2", like you're a 6'2", like you are coming into your own, like you've learned all of these lessons and all of these wisdom, and now it's like you get to put it out and you get to be paid and you get to live like a fucking queen for your natural gifts, your understanding of astrology, like your wisdom that you've embodied through going through all of these cycles and experience this shit. And it's like, right, let me tell you what works and what doesn't work, right? And I'm going to level with you, like, and you have the platform, you have the space to project your voice out. Like, don't let that little mister on your shoulder, you know, he doesn't get to disempower you twice in this lifetime. And if he keeps popping up every time you go to step forward, you need to tell him to fuck off. You know? I'm excited for you.
I agree with you only because years ago when I was a younger, I've mentioned this once before, I must have been about 16 or 17. And I looked into Eastern astrology, which is completely different than Western astrology. And when I looked, I mean, I got scared because of my Navasma. I found out that my the where Rahu and Ketu were placed. First of all, it made me a double Sagittarius and not a double Capricorn, which freaks me out even to this day. But it had like Rahu and Ketu in my first incept. Like my life was not supposed to be anything. And it told me something like after 60 or after 50. And I remember crying. So when you just said that, I'm like, you sound like that Eastern astrology report that I read years ago. Like my life wouldn't start until after 60. Who wants to read something like that? But here I am at 60 thinking, oh, maybe they were right.
No,
because nothing's been happening. So, like really. So maybe
you're just getting started. Like, and if you think about the last 15 years, like I just said with Ryan with his son, you've had fucking Pluto going through, like literally my legs I can feel them going, you know, when your arm hairs go on end and stuff. But it's like you're literally just coming out of this Pluto cycle. This transformation is complete. Like it's the launch pad, right? And you said it yourself, like we get to choose what's true for us. We get to choose the path. We get to choose whether we think we've done or we've fulfilled our destiny, you know. And I don't think you believe you have. Look at you, you've got so much fucking life left in you. You're not like, yeah, we're done. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you are literally
60 pounds on Ozempic. I just
yeah, but you're just getting started, are you?
I want to
you are. And Capricorn, when I think about Capricorn, like I always think, you know, they're the successful, like my Venus is in I've got a stellium in Capricorn actually.
Oh
wow. But it's like my Venus in Capricorn, like I know I'm gonna be a fucking millionaire.
I feel it too. I just want you to know that I felt it. I just felt it. You ooze that, you know that. And can I say this, and I am not blowing shit up your ass, you have got one of the most brilliant, most gorgeous freaking websites. I don't know who did your website, but my God, girl, your website is gorgeous.
Do you know what? I'm very blessed.
Oh my gosh.
Very blessed to have some incredible business besties and where we leverage each other's skills. And I know sometimes as entrepreneurs, when we're just kind of warming up and we're just getting started, like, you know, we want that support, but it's like, do you know what? That support comes with a price tag.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the old energy exchanges are the best. So she is a manifesting generator. She's a 6-2 manifesting generator.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like, you've done so much for me, like let me help you. So I did all of the writing because I love to write. And my husband's a photographer, so Ryan's a photographer, so all of the pictures, beautiful. And she just absolutely smashed it. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to all the
mechanics of it. It's just so sleek. It takes you from one point. It's very easy. It flows. Just I just was the whole time I was going, ooh, I wonder who did this. Wow, like it just.
I'm gonna tell her that.
Yeah, that's how I.
And you know, she's not a web designer. She's not a web designer. She's a psychic medium.
What? Oh my!
And an incredible one at that, I do have to say.
Wow. I don't know if I can afford her, but my gosh, tell her I would be a client because she did a beautiful job. Beautiful.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. She did.
I mean, and I like how it flows because now I'm looking at the what is it? Empower Her Identity, the Expression Chamber Mastermind. You want to tell people about that?
Yeah. So the Expression Chamber Mastermind is all around embodying the blueprint. And like my whole philosophy is, you know, I remind women who the fuck they are so they can be who they came here to be. So if we look at astrology and we look at human design, it's about having an understanding of your energy and how it interacts in the world and how you respond and how you make decisions and kind of some of those trajectory bits and the shadows. Like I do a lot of shadow work because for me, if we dive straight into the shadows, then we're just pulling out gold, right? Yes. and we don't get tripped up. But the Expression Chamber is really about being that fullest expression of you out into the world. And with my work with, you know, female entrepreneurs, it's like I said to you, people are only operating at 60, 70, that might be generous, like of their voice, like they're, you know, we're still censoring ourselves, we're still not showing up in that fullness. Like I swear like an absolute fucking sailor.
Yeah.
You know, I always say us mouth of a sailor and, you know, heart of gold, right? That's another one. And I was suppressed for the way I spoke my whole life. And now I'm like, I'm not having that.
To
Like
me,
I'm
it's
going to
refreshing
speak.
because I can tell you're just being you and it just comes across. It's authentic, and I
Yeah,
prefer that.
yeah, it's that passion, isn't it? And you
Yeah.
know, the second line, you know, being a second line, it is about like we are the fire. We are the fire starters, we are the igniters, we are the people that are like, you know, we don't want to go through life like, yeah, that's okay. It's like, fuck yes, come on,
Right.
you know,
Like
and
I hate to
firing
say,
up that
yeah,
sacral,
yeah,
firing up that sacral energy,
yeah,
because we come to live mediocre lives. We came to live fucking expansive, like fuck yes lives, you know? So
yeah.
the expression chamber is really about
Like that.
deepening that self-expression and being held through, you know, through those portals of where we go to speak and we go, "Eh," and it's like, you know, I've got my hand on your diaphragm and I'm like, louder for the people at the
Yeah,
back, kind of
yeah.
thing, you know, but done with love, but holding people to their edges. Because like my purpose, and again, this is off of the back of where I've come from, the journey I've been on, is
Mhm.
just for everybody to be who they came here to be. And I believe with all my heart that this age of Aquarius that we're coming into is about that individuality and everybody being themselves and fixing together this jigsaw of the world. Because at the moment we've got lots of corners and we haven't got the depth, we haven't got the fucking inners, because everybody is just on autopilot, or you know, following this person. No, people are just wandering around,
Spiraling. People
don't
are
know,
spiraling. They really
they
are.
don't know who they
They
are,
don't
and
know
it's
who they are.
like,
And they're
you know,
not even aware. I don't even like to say this, but I'm not a Trump follower, and I'm so scared because I know about Uranus and Taurus and what it did 84 years ago. And you know, the whole World War II thing, and there's all these wars and talks of wars. So we are kind like slowly leading back to it.
mm,
Dictator. This is 2023, people. I think
mm,
we've grown up enough. I hope that there's
mm,
some inner core in there, that we are better than that. There's
mm,
no effing dictators in
mm,
2023, not in that freaking age of it. We don't need that. It disgusts me. The bile of it. It
mm,
just, I have dreams of it because all
mm,
I see in that is annihilation. And
mm,
when we tank slow one by one, just like in World War II, it'll all begin to tank. But that guy is
mm,
inept and unfit. And what'll happen? Oh God, I don't even
mm,
want to think about it because he was bad. So, but I'm thinking, is there brainwashing? How can people not remember all the
mm,
deaths? A million people died, you know, with COVID, the pandemic, the lockdown, not being able to get food, not being. How do you forget that?
mm,
Is it like constant, what do they call it, constant dissonance, like
yeah,
where,
yeah, yeah,
what's going on? Why
mm,
would you want to go back to that? I remember
mm,
the white vans that came to pick up the bodies. I don't
mm,
want to live like that. How
mm,
could people even be blind to that?
mm,
Can't they feel it in their souls and their spirits that that's the wrong direction? How,
mm,
and I get so excited, like I'm about to tear up. I get teary, and I'm like, I spend a lot of time posting videos that show the truth because there are channels like the Midas Touch network out there that tell the truth. The truth is out there. Just turn on freaking C-SPAN, like it's
mm,
there. Don't
mm,
listen to the one man who's going to go to jail. He's going to tell you
mm,
the same lies. He told over
mm,
30,000 lies. I'm sorry. It just, ooh. Now,
yeah,
the one problem of knowing too much is knowing too much, right?
mm, yeah. Do you know, I have a bit of a theory on war. And again, like if I look at my human design, like my core wound and like the biggest part of work that I'm here to do is in gate 6, which is all around conflict and diplomacy and politics and all of the thing. And I believe like the peace that we desire like starts with us. Like I absolutely, like, if people want to create awareness and talk about these things, like I absolutely support that, like freedom of speech, all of that thing. But I think sometimes, and this is something that I've spoken quite openly about, we can be outraged at the bigger stuff and we'll speak our truth on that. But what I don't see, and we were just talking about Boxing Day, like people aren't speaking their truth on a level within their own lives. Like, and you said about, you know, not liking conflict. When you don't, it's like the avoidance of conflict is what creates the conflict in the first place. So let's look at I'm just going to use this example because we brought it up at the beginning. Obviously we were a bit in jest. Those Boxing Day conflicts that may come through will come through as a result of people not communicating, of ignoring, of avoiding the conflict, of avoiding difficult conversations, and then they blow up to war. And when we look at the state of the world at the moment, these are just fucking big boy conversations that should have happened
a long time ago,
fucking years ago, that we're now seeing the fallout from. So I believe like that self-responsibility piece is, you know, and I would challenge, I use the word challenge because I haven't got another fucking word. Like I would challenge people, where in your life, in your relationships with the people that you love, your family, your friends, your children, your husbands, your wives, your girlfriends, like all of the things, where are you leaving things unsaid that are disturbing the peace within you? Because this is where the anger spills out. And it's that thing of, you know, if you don't speak to the people that cut you, you'll bleed on the people that didn't.
Oh, I'll never be able to speak to the person that cut me.
Yeah.
He ghosted me 5 years ago. So I've been through therapy. Like if you feel that emanating from me in any way.
Oh, not necessarily you.
I'll never be able to be resolved because first of all, I blocked him, but we never talked. He never, every opportunity, I opponent that out. But I feel that on a personal level because that Aries and Chiron is happening in my progressed first house.
Yeah. So you are. Yeah.
I know that purging that has to be done. And the Chiron's on my progressed sun in the 12th house, all that gunk, all that hidden garbage, you know, that's what I've been working on a personal level for 5 years. It's a lot.
And I think it will, I think you'll get that, you know, you'll get that closure. Like just keep asking the questions. And, you know, sometimes we just have to have the acceptance for the fact that we're not going to get the apology or the closure that we want, but we don't have to let that keep disturbing our peace inside. Like, because, you know, it's like I said to you, he's already held you back once in this life. He doesn't get to do it again, you know, but that's a decision. Sometimes that's a decision, but, you know, at a obviously there's going to be exceptions, but generally speaking, like these conversations, and it's why I talk about this dark feminine energy, like, because the dark feminine is like, no, but it doesn't escalate. But this fear of conflict creates more conflict. So we all have a responsibility to communicate our truth at our home level. Earth is our home, but our homes, our communities, like, you know, and people might be pissed off for 5 minutes, but once it's out in the open, it diffuses, it transmutes, right? So I'm just like like communication is just huge for me. And, you know, everything. I look at, you know, it is everything. And it's like, you know, even fiery, passionate communication, like, you know, it's still got its place. It's still got its place, you know? And I think, I just think we're just in for such a transformational next 10, well, we're just going to keep evolving at speed, aren't we? But I just want people to talk.
Yeah, I think my biggest fear is that I'm so woo-woo. I keep thinking, are we dealing with returned souls from that era who want to re-engage in that same, like my mind keeps thinking, what is the underlying thing? There must be an underlying, like I'm always thinking, why would people do that? Why would,
Do you know
so
what?
I'm always trying to
History
figure out
repeats itself.
why.
History repeats
I
itself.
believe that.
And history
I
is
believe that.
repeating itself because we are being given another opportunity
I believe
to
that.
Get off this fucking karmic wheel. Look at where Saturn is. Saturn is sat in Pisces, and it's like, how many more times do we have to do this same old shit and not learn the same fucking lessons, right? So be as woo woo as you want, but just fucking embrace. Just fucking embrace.
That's exactly what I believe. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're on this trajectory, on this road. Please take us off this road. All we have to do is veer a little to the right or the left, whatever, but don't go down that path, because that is the definitive path of death. And I just feel like, please don't repeat that. Didn't we learn that lesson? My soul feels that it was a lesson learned. Let's not go back. And every time a new war breaks out, or I'm so not into the wars.
You know what? I know I did a speaking event a couple of weeks ago, and it was on Remembrance Day. Will you call it Veterans Day where you are? Yeah. So my husband is a decorated war hero. Wow. And when he was in Afghanistan, it was actually an American helicopter got shot down with like 5 or 6 people on, and he went into the wreckage, and he saved some people, and like he was like 23, like he was still a young boy, right? I say a young boy, I know he's a man in the eyes, but like that just seems so young now, like when I look at it. And he was awarded, it's a George Medal, like over here. And like the battles and the darkness that we've been through because of that war, like that he's been through, that I've been, I don't want to say subjected to, supported him through. Like I've seen firsthand what war does. Like I've sat with people whose sons and husbands and girlfriends didn't come back from those wars. Like the cost is too fucking high. My dad, when I was born, my dad was in like the Falklands. I didn't meet my dad till I was like 9 months old. Like that separation of the masculine and the feminine that I've experienced in my lifetime is because of war. And this is what it is. It's this separation wound. And I really feel like that's what we are healing now. But the equality and the masculine and the feminine polarity, we don't fix externally. We fix it within us. We learn to rest. We learn to soften. We learn to communicate. And we just accept each other for who they are. And it's that love and acceptance for ourselves, that love and acceptance for other people. That's the shit that's going to change the fucking world. And I tell you now, I'm here for that all day long. I'm here for that all day long. And that's why I'm passionate about doing this work with people, so that they go on that journey, they go on that healing, they bring themselves back into wholeness. Because every time one person does that, it might seem like a drop in the ocean, but it makes a fucking huge ripple out into the cosmos. Like that's our work. That's our work.
It's the energy we bring. It's the energy we bring.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. And thank you so much. I had asked if you had an affiliate program. That's because I'm going to help promote you. This is amazing.
Thank you.
To step into a deeper level of self-mastery, identity, and authenticity in life and in business. I heard you say that you help business women. I don't want to keep you too long, but my gosh, you're so interesting. But tell me how you, a little bit more of how you help business women to be more successful.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same philosophy. Like when you can tap into your true identity and express yourself out into the world, you send out that frequency. The people that you came here to serve, that you contracted to come to Earth with, I know you'll understand me. Some people will be like, huh? They can hear you're cool. But if you're not speaking and you're not submitting your frequency, they can't fucking hear you, right? So it really is about this frequency and this voice that you emit to the world. Yes, there's some strategy stuff, but like you're always going to be guided to the places and the people and the opportunities. Like, it's not even a coincidence that we're sat here today, right? Like, it's just not. Like, there's too much
It's too much synchronicity. It's
too much synchronicity. But it's about tapping them into that. It is just about that whole authenticity bit, and plugging you into your authority and your decision making, so that you become the authority and the expert in your life and in your business, without outsourcing that shit to other people. Because, you know, we all came to take our power back, and we need to self leadership.
Yeah.
Like, the business stuff for me is about self leadership. And when people pull back, and when, you know, and this is always like when you're due to go into that expansion, and we talked about this earlier on the coaching call, it's like you pull back, and that's when you need somebody stood behind you going, just giving you a gentle little nudge and holding your hand, and, you know, and then it's like you jump off and you're free falling, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. All energetics. Like, it's all about the energetics. And when you know who you are, and you trust your own inner guidance. Like, I'm about empowerment, right? It's not me telling you you're this, you're that, you're this. I'm asking you the questions that you go and ask yourself, because then it doesn't matter where you go in life. If you ever get lost, you know how to go in and ask the questions to bring yourself back to that center. So yeah, it's I just do so many different things. Like, it just depends on the individual. Quite common, I get people come and be like, I need to make some money in my business, and then I'll go, okay, what's going on in your relationship? And they're like, oh, like, don't even get me started on my relationship, like, it's not good. And I go, why isn't it good? And they're like, the money, like, if I could just earn the money, it would all be fixed. And I'm like, no, the money, or lack of, is a symptom. It is not the cause. The cause is your masculine and your feminine within you, you know. But so many people go through life thinking if they just had the money, it would fix everything. We give our power away.
I went through a phase where I've had a drought. It's been like almost all of 2023. I mean, I've been making more videos and having more followers, but making no money whatsoever. It's crazy. I've never experienced anything like it. But I've been doing other things more passively now. So and I'm about to create my TikTok shop and stuff like that. And YouTube's been threatening to pay me money, which I never collected my YouTube money.
What?
They're like, we are trying to pay you money. So I think they figured out how to pay me, because there was something to do with my bank, or I don't know. I've never gotten my money, so at least that'll be
one thing that's just coming through for me for you with your business, and this is that second line, right?
Yeah.
You, and also your Taurus moon, because where your Taurus is, if I look at what's opposite, you get to earn money doing what you love. Like, it is as simple as that, right? And I have this philosophy, like, I don't do anything for money. Like, I've been in financial situations where I didn't have a pot to piss in, right? And everybody's like, oh, go and get a job. Oh, you could just chuck this out. And I'm like, no, like, I sold my soul for 21 years to a corporate career for money. I don't do anything for money. Like, if I don't fucking love it, I don't do it. So it's like this belief of,
I love that.
I get to have these conversations. I get to do what I love, and I get to be paid for it. They want to pay you, let them fucking pay you.
Yeah.
Like, let them show you the money, right? This is work. Just because it doesn't feel like work, it doesn't mean you shouldn't get paid for it, right? Let them pay you.
Let them in. Let's fix that. Okay, give me that money.
Just open it up, like, be receptive to it. Like, money wants to come through you and to you to impact the world. Like, our job is just to fucking let it in. The easiest way is, like, we're not here to work hard for money. That was the old world. That's the masculine paradigm, you know. the feminine's leading this one, and she's like, we're going to be lazy bitches, we're going to sit on like, we're going to fucking watch Netflix and chill, and we're just going to let it flow in. And, you know, like when we feel good, we're going to show up and we're going to serve from that space, because that is the new paradigm, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's my paradigm.
I love that. That makes me feel like, hey, I can do a mastermind. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
And people, you know, your astrology, right?
Yeah.
People need this guidance.
Yeah.
People need this guidance. You know, whether it's astrology, human design, numerology.
Oh yeah, that too.
Don't even get me started on numerology.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. I just love it. Like, I love it all.
Yeah.
Like, I look at numbers everywhere. Like, there's a running joke in my world that I've got human design Tourette's, because someone will talk to me, I'll be like, gate 58, gate 64.
Oh, I
That's
love
your,
it.
that's your 22. That's your 8. Like, and I'm just shouting numbers at them, and they're like, what?
Oh my God.
Because you feel the energy
Yeah.
that's coming through these. You probably do it with your planets. Like, you feel the energy coming through, but it gives people a tangible point in the physical that they could go and have a look, and they can use discernment, and they can go, oh my goodness, like, yes, that's me.
Yeah.
You know, and they can understand themselves
on
a deeper level. Therefore, they can accept themselves and all of their little quirks, and be like, oh, you know, it's just who I am at this point, you know?
You know, it reminds me to be more helpful. I want to do more helpful things for my listeners. So like doing this podcast and bringing more people like you, Lyndsey, to come and talk with, you know, my listeners and give them information and details. So tell people how they can find you. I don't know if you want to shout out your link tree or your website, or
I've got my website, so that's www.empowerheridentity.com. You can find me on Linktree. If you would like to connect with me, you generally will find me over on Facebook, because I'm a 2-4. I'm all about community. I am on Instagram. So yeah, just like connect with me however you feel called to connect. I love making new friends, because one of the things that really drives me is like fresh perspectives, fresh conversations, traveling and going on new experiences and learning new things and being exposed to like different viewpoints of the world, because that keeps my mind nice and nimble and learning.
Yes, you gotta be the genius you're meant to be. I love
it. Absolutely.
Well, this has been so much fun, and I hope that we stay in touch with each other.
Definitely. It's been so much fun.
Yes, and once I get this uploaded everywhere, I'll send you links to it. And I'm also going to upload, just so that you know, I don't know if you know, I'm going to upload this to my website, which is gregarious1.com. Shout out gregarious1.com. And there's all kind of music and meditations and stuff there. So if you want to go hang out there, that's good. But I'm also on, my podcast is on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on everywhere, Apple, you know, everywhere. So you will be seen and heard. And this video I'll also put on Spotify. So I just want to be transparent with that I'm going to post you everywhere, including YouTube. So you'll be everywhere.
Oh, thank you. But do you know what? I've genuinely loved this conversation. I love connecting with you. I love your energy. And I think, you know, go big. Like, you're here to be seen, and you're here to be heard. Like, the fucking world needs more of this shit. It really does.
Thank you so much, Lyndsey. And I'm so glad we connected. There's someone else I'm going to talk to in a few hours. So yeah, people keep calling me, but thank you so much. And you know what, before I go, I've got a tradition, and the tradition is we party off. So I'm going to put on a little song, and we're going to see if this is a good song for us to party off to, because I like this song. So let's see. Because I already know your sign. I usually do the sign. And
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it? Can you hear it yet? It may be. I know what it is. I know what it is. Hold on. They're monitoring my sound. I didn't fix it. I'm going to fix it now. Let me see if you can hear it now. Now can you hear it? Yeah, there it is. I always like to end with music, so it's like I didn't know what was going on. Yeah. We thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been so much fun, and I look forward to speaking to you in a few hours.
Okay.
Lots of love, darling. Bye. Bye.